It's a new week in the Crew Motorfest, and this week is super special. This is the BlackPanthaa Experience Summit, and this is my summit guide. Well, let's go. All right, before we get into it, huge shout out to Simgii. Thank you so much for the shortcuts and the advice on this summit. If you guys want to check out his expert driving, go to his channel. The link is in the description down below. Let's get into it. So starting off with the cars, we've got the Summit bundle with the Mitsubishi Eclipse GSX, the Porsche Panamera Turbo S Sport Turismo, it's too many names, and the Chevrolet Camaro RS, that's better. The additional vehicles that you're going to need is a Street 1 car from the USA, and for this one we're using the Ford Focus RS, and a Street 1 car from Japan. For this one we're going to be using the Mazda RX-7. Now for the Feats, you're going to need a buoy smashing boat. For this I use the 1414 Demon. You can also opt for a plane if you have Scorebreaker on that, but that method seems a little bit more difficult maybe, but if you can do it, it's a lot faster and you can score higher. For that boat, you're going to want a Scorebreaker set of parts with Skilled as the affix and, you know, Pure, or actually it honestly doesn't matter for this one. As long as you have Skilled fully maxed out and you have Scorebreaker parts, you'll get plenty of points for that event. And then you're going to need a speed trap vehicle. I recommend a drag car. You're going to need a full set of Nitrochemist parts with Pure and Frenetic as your affixes. That's going to be the best thing for the drag cars. All right, the keys to the summit are NOS management, shortcuts, and resets. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't like shortcuts and resets, but for this summit, it's extremely necessary. This is going to be one of the most competitive summits probably since the game came out. The reward vehicle is a very exclusive BlackPanthaa Experience R34, and everybody and their mom wants to get it. So you definitely need to take advantage of the shortcuts that I'm giving you, and if you find other ones, definitely leave it in the comments down below. We are working on this guide very late at night, so you know, sometimes we miss things. Anyways, here are the pro settings for all the vehicles that I just mentioned. All right, so last week I did some live commentary over the events. However, I wasn't on screen, and that kind of made it a little bit weird to record the audio over the video and then have my editor try to sync everything up. And I felt like I was talking too much and I wasn't able to pause the clips because anyway, long story short, I'm going to be doing live commentary on cam over the gameplay, and I'm going to be sort of pausing and talking about the most important parts of the races. Hopefully this helps you out. I know this summit is going to be like super competitive from a player-based standpoint. We're gonna have a lot of people going after this R34, so hopefully this helps you guys a little bit more. And if you like this type of thing, definitely leave me a comment, let me know. So the first event is called Panthaa Dream Ride, and here we go. My first tip is actually going to be at the beginning of this race. These AI are super annoying. The best way is to go in between this Panamera and this Evo. So we go around like that. It's the easiest way to get around it, although I did miss a shift and I ended up fighting with that Evo. Now on these hills, on all of these gutters, these are really important to keeping speed, and notice I'm doing them fairly well. This car actually gutters really nicely, but all of these gutters are super important. I'm taking these in third gear for the most part. Fourth gear you can do at the beginning of the gutter if you feel like the car is bouncing a lot, it'll settle it down. But for the most part, third gear is the way you want to go. Notice how smooth the gutters are when you get into third and you're controlling your speed. Oh, this is important. Let's back up just a little bit because this last gutter is going to be important. You want to stay as tight as possible going into this corner, and you want to stay kind of, if you see this green sign right here, this green sign, you want to stay kind of close to it coming out of this turn because you want to get a little bit wide to go through where this checkpoint is right here. So let me play this real quick for you. Notice I stay close, and then when you get to this green sign, you're going to cut it back, and you can actually go left of this checkpoint flag just to try to stay on the road. This kind of put me in the gutter, which was fine for that particular section. Gutter here, I missed it slightly, which is why the car lost traction. Gutter here again, and gutter here again. I missed this one. I went a little bit wide, used some NOS through the grass. Not the biggest deal, but it definitely could be faster. Nothing tricky on this section. Gutter on this one. You're going to want to try to avoid the fence if you can. I missed the gutter. Definitely slowed me down. Again, gutter on this one. Lots of gutter turns on this race. This is very, very important. So, all right, going into this corner. Let me back up just a little. Okay, going into this corner, when you hit this checkpoint flag, that's your cue to start slowing down. You're going to downshift a couple of times and start, you know, hammering the brakes, because going into this corner is very tight. You end up going too fast and missing everything. I actually just barely clipped the gutter, which helped me take the turn, but you really don't want to do that. You want to slow down a little bit before. Again, nothing tricky here. Didn't really have to gutter there, but I did anyway. This one you're going to want to slow down for again, take the gutter, and then right after these flags, cut it in. And you can, again, you can go left of that checkpoint. I kind of fudged it a little bit. Should have went a little farther left. On this straight, you're going to want to use NOS sparingly to get to the top gears. And then take this corner with a little bit less speed. Downshift if you have to. Don't overuse NOS there, because you're going to need it for the next turn. I cut this corner, but I don't think you really need to. It ended up kind of costing me a little time there because I went a little wide. But you're going to want to just keep your NOS in the blue. There's a lot of like little short bursts of acceleration followed by a lot of turns. So you don't want to blast your NOS. Keep a hold of it. Try to keep it in the blue. As you see, I went into the red. I really don't recommend that. I like watching these runs because it makes me feel like I can point out all the mistakes as well and blast it at the end. So pretty decent time, 38. Let's move on to the next one. All right, the next event is called If This Doesn't Make You Crack a Smile. The title is too long, dude. All right. I feel like I complain about too long titles and names, but anyways, we're in the Mitsubishi Eclipse for this one. This first gutter, you can take full speed. You just got to get in there early. No braking whatsoever, no downshifting, full speed. Now up here, you're going to cut across the grass at about 8% and reset when you get to the checkpoint. Make sure you're turning right when you exit the reset, because if not, you're going to go straight into that wall. Now there's a couple of important gutter turns coming up here. I don't remember if I hit them or missed them. All right, so I hit that one, and then this one you got to slow down because otherwise you're going off the road. This car is not the best, I'll be honest. This one at 21%, you're going to blast across and reset. Again, just make sure you're turning slightly to the right. And again, we have a very important gutter that I, of course, missed. Try to hit that gutter if you can. Same with this one. This is a really good one because this turn is very sharp. Make sure you hit that gutter. I feel like I'm going to be saying that forever. Again, gutter turn right here. And I missed it. All right. Now we're off. You want to blast your NOS up this hill and across once you get into the higher gears. And you're going across this countryside here. And you're going to reset here at 47% at this checkpoint. This one you don't have to turn left coming out of it. It kind of sets you straight inside that gutter. So no worries there. This is a second gear turn. Downshift, get into second gear. Next one will be third. Make sure you stay in the gutter. Now here's the tricky part. Try to stay under control underneath this tunnel and hug this wall to the right, because you're going to want to jump over this hill. Hug the wall to the right, turn left at the flag, NOS in the air. Make sure you hit the checkpoint and across the hill using air NOS where possible. Land, get into the gutter on this turn, and NOS out of it. So that's the biggest part of this. This is the biggest reason why you're going to get a slow time or a fast time is the gutters in this one and that particular shortcut. Try to keep your car in the gutters on these turns. This car does not handle well, and it really needs the gutters in order to make these turns. Again, my time is not really that great, but it's solid. It's solid. Now this one, you don't want to blast a ton of NOS going into this, because you're gonna need to hit the gutter that I missed. Try to hit these gutters, man. I did not do it perfectly on this one, and you can see, we'll see my time at the end. It's okay, it's decent, and I didn't hit all the gutters. So if you hit half of the gutters, you're gonna end up with a decent time. Ended up with a sub 250 on this, so go for that if you can. Somewhere in the 250s should be fine. this gets me a decent amount of points. All right, let's move on to the next one. All right, the next event is called Chill Event, or Is It? And this one at the beginning is a little bit boring, and it's a pretty long race. So I'm gonna skip to about 11% here, which is the first tip that I have. Going into this corner, you're definitely gonna wanna gutter this turn. Slow down, hit that gutter, and take it all the way around the corner. Cut across this grass here, get back on the road, and then you can use your NOS. Don't use too much though. You're actually gonna wanna use some NOS after this curve right here. Then you can use NOS to get up to top speed. You're gonna wanna stay in the 180 mile per hour range. Now in this cave, I did not take the gutter on this. You can if you want, but I think it's faster not to. On this turn, I actually messed up. I went into this gutter early. Notice all four wheels are actually off the ground here, or sorry, off the pavement in the dirt. It causes me to bump around, and I lose the gutter right around the corner, end up a little bit wide. So if you can stay a little wider here and then cut in and hit this gutter more towards this flag, or, you know, at the beginning of this curve here, that's probably what you want to do. So notice how I'm in it, and then I lose it and go a little bit wide. So that cost me some seconds for sure, and a little bit of NOS going up this hill. All right, let me skip ahead here. Now this corner right up here is also important to gutter. Again, I slowed down way too early, and then also I decided to miss the gutter as well. So I got half of it, then fell out, which cost me a lot of NOS and time. You got to try to stay in that gutter if you can. Again, gutter on this turn here. Beautifully done trigger. And then when you get to the top of this hill, you're going to gutter here as well. And then I reset the next checkpoint. So we got a gutter here. I went a little slow, then I cut over, reset at this checkpoint. Make sure you're turning right when you reset so that you don't have to go into the grass there. I also reset this checkpoint. When I came back around, just use the gutter on this one. I was already going slow. It's not like we could use some of the speed going into it. You can cut to the right of that flag. Let me go back a little bit. You can cut to the right of this flag. You don't have to be going through that. So make sure you're doing that as well to cut across the grass, just like you would in a grand race. Gutter here is important. Focus takes it very nicely. And another gutter on this one as well. Nicely done. Let me skip ahead here. All right, so you're gonna want to hit this gutter at 58, then line yourself up for this next gutter as well. This one is important to hit, and I hit it perfectly. Maybe could have went a little faster, but at least I stayed in the gutter and kept my speed. Now Reset Fest starts again. Reset on that one. You're gonna reset again on this checkpoint. And then when you get to the bottom of this one, cut across and reset on this one as well. Now, this next one is kind of up to you. You can choose to reset or not. Some of the faster racers definitely cut across and reset. I, for some reason, chose to take the gutter. My time was still pretty decent, and I didn't even hit the gutter that well. So probably a reset there, but I didn't do that. So anyways, and then again, at the very bottom of this hill, reset this one as well. You spawn in with about 60 miles per hour worth of speed. So it's important to only reset where you know by taking the gutter, you're not going to exit that at 60 miles per hour. Also, keep in mind the reset actually helps you not have to slow down for the turn. So all that time that you're wasting slowing down, even though your exit speed might be a little faster if you gutter, the time you lose slowing down for that turn. So, all right. And finally, with this turn, you can gutter this. This is how I chose to take it. You can also just fly over and reset. If you reset, you're going to spawn in with about 60 miles per hour, and I exited that corner at about 101 or 100 miles per hour. And that's pretty much it for this one. The ending is, you know, pretty straight along the coast. If the corner is too tight, make sure you gutter it. If not, use your NOS to get up to top speed. All right, let's move on. All right, the next event is called S+ tier event in the slowest car category. Here we go. All right. So it's important not to use your NOS right off the bat. You want to let that thing build up into the blue. I actually tap it early, I feel like, or maybe that was on a previous run, I don't know. This car is excellent at guttering, and you're going to be guttering all the way up this hill. This particular event does not allow you to reset your car. So none of these hairpins are you going to be resetting. You just need to gutter all of these. And when I say doesn't allow you to, you definitely can, but it doesn't spawn you in with any type of speed. So you're going to want to just gutter everything all the way up this hill, all the way down the next hill. Gutter everything. Try not to miss any of them. Just control yourself and go through the gutters. All right, let's move on. All right, on this jump right up here, you're going to want to at least have 75% NOS, because air NOS is going to help you here. And you want to try to hit this with a little bit of speed. So tap your NOS on the way up to it, but make sure it recovers before you get to the jump. Also, try not to use your NOS while you're going in the upward direction. You want to use your NOS when the car is at its peak jump height. The reason is because you gain a lot more speed as your car is falling, and you want to be going in this direction, if that makes sense. You don't want to use your NOS to be going up. You want it to be going flat. So here we are. NOS is at about 90% when I hit the jump. Then start using NOS in the middle of the jump, and you land with a lot of speed. This gutter is important because you'll end up going wide like that if you don't hit it perfectly. I didn't, and I ended up losing a lot of speed there. Again, guttering up this entire hill. Let me fast forward. And once you've made it to the top here, on the way back down, you're also going to be using gutters. Nice gutter there. I went a little inside on that one. Now, on this corner, cut this flag super hard left, so you can cut across the dirt here and keep your speed. I avoided this jump. No need to take it. The road is fairly straight. No need to gutter on this one, but definitely dip the wheels in on this one. I missed it, but it helps you control speed for this next corner. You're going to need to downshift and take this a little bit slow. I went way too slow. That's why you saw all 4 of my tires go in the dirt there. And now this would be one we would reset, but you can't because it stops you. Now, this is the tricky part coming up. There's a cut over here. After this... Excuse me, not after this one. After a couple more gutters, this next one, after these bulldozers, there's another hairpin turn at the bottom of this hill. You're going to want to avoid this jump, and I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So you can use this as a gutter. Go left. Stay left. You see how I came out of this gutter and I kind of hooked it to stay more left? Come out of this gutter, go all the way left, because you want to get a good angle. You're going to cut to the right of this right checkpoint flag and go down this hill and around this barrier. So here's what we do. Cut to the right, NOS in the air, down the hill, through the wall, and then cut right back onto the road. Nice little cut. That one was found by Simgii. Shout out to Simgii. That's pretty much it for the rest of this event. You basically just NOS to the finish line. Try to stay out of the dirt. Obviously, I didn't take my own advice. All right, the next event is called Oh, One More Thing, even though there's one more thing after this one more thing. This is not actually the last thing. The last thing is called Last Call, but this one is one more thing. Anyway, this is actually just Kyusha Spirit, which is great for me because it's my test course. Let's play this. I'll give you as much detailed commentary as possible. So the start of this is actually important. You want to get around this AI because the AI are super annoying on this race. So I go left. Lan actually jumps over, which is nice, gets out of my way. The jump also can mess you up. You can save some time by just landing flat. Don't use too much NOS here. Just tap it a little bit. You want to have some NOS when you get down the hill. On this turn, you're going to grab the gutter. Definitely grab gutter on this. It definitely helps with maintaining speed. NOS when you get outside of it. Cut across here. Avoid poles and trees. NOS when you get to the other side. This turn, the RX-7 takes it pretty well, so don't worry too much. You can just hold the turn and go. Then NOS and try to get back up to top speed. right around this corner. You should be at 170, 180, something like that. Now, this turn coming up is one of the more important turns in this race. You can actually take this in 5th gear. You don't need to downshift into 4th, and a lot of times in Street 1 you can do that. You don't have to downshift. You just let off the gas, let the car come to a sort of a natural slowdown, and then you're gonna NOS and accelerate mid-turn once you hit the apex. So I did it pretty good here. I think we probably could have done it a little better, but let's see. So get close to the sidewalk, NOS, and yes, back up to top speed, just like that. These turns are obviously pretty easy. This one, you're gonna downshift. I went to 4th right before this turn. Sometimes you have a little bit of issues with this grass, you lose control. Just keep it in 5th if you can. It'll help settle the car down. You can run through 5th and then just downshift when you get out of the turn. Line it up, then use NOS right outside of it to get your speed back up. This is a gutter turn in 3rd for this car. I actually exited that gutter a little early. Another 3rd gear gutter. Gutters are super important on this course. NOS across this bridge here, and then you're going to set yourself up for the shortcut. So this one, you're going to aim for this left flag here. You can actually go a little to the left of it. I actually hit it directly. Then you're going to wait for these broken trees, or these breakable trees I should say, to be in your point of view, and you're going to cut over to the right. We'll go through here. This tree right here is what you should be aiming to the left of, because you're going to want to go across this grass and reset at the checkpoint. Cross here, reset when you get to the checkpoint, make sure you're turning left when you come out of it, and you should be good to go. Grab this gutter, accelerate out. You can use a lot of NOS here. You have lots of time to recover it going down the back hill. All right, I messed this turn up. You want to hit that gutter if you can. I messed it up and hit the wall. Didn't hurt me too bad because I didn't get the speed penalty. But coming down this hill, all of these gutters are very important. 2nd gear gutter on this one, and 3rd gear on the others. All right, nicely done. I'm actually pretty proud of this time. I believe I ended up with a 21, and you know, it was good enough to be in the top 10. I don't know if it's going to stay in the top 10 by the time you see this, but it was when I actually did this race. So there you go. Moving on. All right, the last event is called Last Call, and this is going to be in the Panamera Turbo. So in the beginning, I kind of stay to the right of these AI. Hopefully you find that to be useful. Had to go a little bit up on the curve to get around them, but the most important thing on this race is NOS management, because you don't get NOS unless you're in these pink sections. So you're going to want to hit all of these. I gutter this turn, and then I go across and reset this checkpoint. If you want, you can actually gutter that turn. I just wasn't skilled enough to keep good speed throughout that gutter. Now, this is where it's important. You're going to want to use your NOS after this turn to get to top speed as fast as possible, because you have another refill right here. You're going to downshift hard into 5th gear to take this turn. It's a very slow turn. Then you can use a little bit of NOS going up this hill. Gutter turn here. You can stay out of the gutter or hit it on that one. Not a problem. This one, downshift hard and try to gutter it if you can. Now, actually, let's go back just a little bit, because you might be tempted to try to cut this corner. All right, so right here, you have an opportunity. If you see the checkpoint that's over in this area here, you have an opportunity to cut it over, NOS over this, all these bushes and stuff, and go straight to the checkpoint. The problem is the road on the other side actually goes at an angle so tight that you actually have to reset when you get to that checkpoint. So I wouldn't recommend going that way. What I ended up doing is going right outside of the brick wall and making a right across this grass, much like you would do it in the grand races. And using NOS because we have a refill here. Now I could have used more NOS. After that, reset at this checkpoint, and you're gonna reset at basically the next 2 checkpoints. So reset here. Make sure you're turning left when you come out of those turns. Reset again here. And then for this one, I did not reset, I held it. I guttered this one and the next one. You could probably reset there as well. I found the gutter to be fine. Gutter here as well. Wait till you get straight to use your NOS. I made a mistake, lost traction, and because of that, I was only at 170 going into this refill. You can actually get to full top speed if you save your NOS there. Now blast it. Make sure this section you're at full top speed. There's no reason you shouldn't be. This is a very hard gutter to hit. So this right-hander, you got to get in this gutter early. If you don't, you're going into the trees. Notice I enter at about 180. I did brake before I got here and I downshifted twice. So I'm in 7th gear. I jump in the gutter, barely make the turn. Use your NOS again. Get your refill. Now this turn coming up over here is kind of interesting. I stayed wide, and cut in as tight as possible to this checkpoint. I actually could have done it better, but this is what you want to do. Cut in as tight as possible to this checkpoint and just keep turning. You're going to go across this grass by these trees. Just keep on turning. Keep going, keep going, keep going. You want to go as far to the left as you possibly can so that you can hit those checkpoints, and you can be using NOS the entire time. I actually cut that one and this one in order to maintain my speed going across there. And that's pretty much it. Again, pretty proud of this time as well. This is a 250, and I believe at the time the current world record was 244, so I wasn't too far off. All right, moving on to the feats. We're going to start out with the buoy smashing. It's important to hit as many of these buoys as possible. Obviously, that's the whole point of it. But the most important thing on this event is that you have a set of score breaker parts on boats. If you do not have that, you're going to have a hard time scoring. But if you do have that, this event is super easy. You get a ton of points. Do your best to hit all of these things. If you look on the mini map, that's where all of the little packs are. I spent time going for that one for no reason. You can just keep following these little green packs, and that's where all of the buoys are. I use the 1414 Demon on this one, but you can use basically any boat you want as long as you score somewhere around 90 to 100,000 points, which is very easy with Scorebreaker. Notice how slow I'm going on this event. Super easy. Just do that with Scorebreaker, skilled as your affix, and you are good to go. All right, let's move on to the speed trap. All right, this first speed trap, you're just going to want to turn around, and you're going to start from the gas station. Never mind me, got stuck on the building for some reason. So turn around, go left. You're going to want to break all these fences and breakables here. Break that wood, break this wall. This will slow you down a lot. So break this before you go at it. You can also just rewind. You go through it and then rewind and then go again. But I chose to break it ahead of time. I wasn't super smart. For this gas station, I went through it and started up here just to get a little speed. And here is your path. You basically go through the gas station, right through these buildings, blast NOS, good to go. Plenty of speed. 313 is going to give you 123,000 points. That's all you need. Next. All right, this is the final speed trap. For this one, you're going to go up to this parking lot. There's a gas station behind me. You can look at the location on the mini map. This is basically directly behind where you spawn. So just turn around, go backwards, go up the little hill to the gas station, and you're going to move these cars so that you can jump off of it. Now, there might be a better way. This is the way I did it, and I think there's plenty of points. But this method right here, after moving these cars, is going to get you around 340 miles per hour, which gives you like around 123,000 points, I think I got. So basically, let me play this. You're going to want to push these cars out of the way. You can just rewind, push these cars out of the way again. Just keep going until they're no longer in your way. Once they're out of the way, then you can go ahead and give it a go. So that's what I'm doing here. All right, once I was done, I moved back to this location right behind the gas pumps, and I just gave it a go. There you go. Easy peasy, 344, 123,000 points. All right, guys, that is it for the summit guide. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you have any questions, please reach out to me. I know this is a very, very competitive week, so I tried to do my best. I know this was a lot longer of a guide, and hopefully it's helped you in some ways. There's timestamps everywhere, so you know, skip around to the places where you need it, and let me know if you like this type of guide in the future. We can kind of dissect all of the runs if we need to, but I felt like it was especially important for this particular summit because the BlackPanthaa R34 is at stake. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Here are my final scores, and I will catch you on the next one. Trigger out.